a parent of children in the school division and the current vice chair of the Special Education Advisory Committee. I'm here this evening to speak about the proposed FY 2025 budget because of a concern I have with the way I am beginning to hear people speak about special education needs in a way that can at times feel dehumanizing. My concern relates to this board, the Board of Supervisors, and the community. There is no doubt that the special education needs in Spotsylvania are significant. There is no doubt that a significant portion of the proposed FY 2025 budget is devoted to meeting the needs of students receiving special education services. But sometimes when we're talking about nickels and noses, we can forget that we're not just talking about numbers on a page. We're talking about real children with real needs who are entitled to a free, appropriate public education. In Spotsylvania, we're talking about 3,825 individual students who I believe were created by God in His image with inherent dignity and worth. One of those 3,825 students is my child. There was a time when public schools in the United States were not required by law to educate students with disabilities. It wasn't that students with disabilities didn't exist. It was that society pretended as if they didn't exist by failing to provide even the most basic accommodations so that they could learn alongside their non-disabled peers. According to the law, those days are behind us. In reality, those days still like to rear their ugly head. I want to urge you to be careful about the way you speak about your responsibility to ensure that students with disabilities receive the free, appropriate public education to which they are entitled. Please do not pit the educational needs of students with disabilities against those of their non-disabled peers. After all students are general education students. Some require special education services. The truth is that spending is higher in general for students with disabilities. They have greater needs. The law says that school divisions have a responsibility to provide students with disabilities a free, appropriate public education. That often requires special transportation to school. It often requires speech therapy, occupational therapy, and other related services. It requires a special education teacher. Sometimes it requires paraeducator support. Sometimes it requires extended school year services. In some cases, it requires a lot more than the things I've stated. The purpose of IDEA is to provide students with disabilities the same education that is provided to their non-disabled peers. But for that same education to be provided, many students with disabilities require special services to access it. There's a reason we provide a public education to all students in this country. We believe that education matters. We believe that education is a common good that is important for the functioning and prospering of society. We believe that all students can learn and should be given the opportunity to learn. Does it cost more in general to educate students with disabilities? Of course it does, but it's worth every dime. Thank you.